Folks, thanks for your time. You know, the White House has been doing these whiteboards for years, and it's my turn to take the pen and talk about something I feel passionately about and I believe is one of the keys to rebuilding America. America has been built on the back of the most modern infrastructure in the world, all the way back to the beginning. You know, the first national road was built in the early 1800s. The Congress passed that, and it generated a lot of money, not from the federal taxpayers, but investments from the local communities. In 1808, there's a guy named DeWitt Clinton who was the governor of New York. He said, I'm going to build a thing called the Erie Canal. He built it from New York all the way up to Buffalo. In the meantime, it generated hundreds of millions of dollars over time of investments all along that route. Then along came in 1863, in the middle of the Civil War, when a Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, he knew America had to be united and built, and that was the way to do it, a transcontinental railroad, the most extensive connection of America in our history. And then you had a president named Dwight D. Eisenhower, a Republican. He built the interstate highway system, the single biggest public works project in history. It not only generated an immense amount of commerce and wealth, it's the reason for suburbs. It's the reason why we have changed so radically. That was an infrastructure project that started that. But look where we are today. Right now, there are 52 million tons worth of freight that goes every single day across America. That's $46 billion per day, And that's only going to grow. But you need an infrastructure. You need highways, bridges, connections in order to be able for this commerce to be able to flow. And look at where we are in the world. The notion is that the United States, I'll bet all of you thought, America's got to be number one. We've always had the most modern infrastructure in the world. But look where we rank today. Out of all the nations of the world, we rank 28th. 27 nations in the world invest more in the infrastructure than the United States of America. And we are the largest economy in the world. And we are in a position to essentially own the 21st century as the most significant economic power in the 21st century. But it can't be done. It can't be done unless we invest in infrastructure. That's what attracts business. That's what attracts commerce. That's what generates so much investment. Not just federal dollars, cities, states, and private entrepreneurs. That's what grows America. Take a look at my little state of Delaware. I'm very proud of Delaware because I know it so well, having represented it for so long. There are 6,357 miles of public roads in the state of Delaware. 16% of them are poor condition. How does that little state compete? Why would a business go? Why would an enterprise get engaged in a place where there wasn't sufficient rail, where the roads weren't good, where the bridges were in disrepair? Businesses go where they can increase productivity. Productivity relates to how rapidly they can get things to market, how cheaply they can get them to market, and how often they can get them to market. That's infrastructure. Now look, here we are. We have an idea. I know the Congress is in the process of coming up with a stopgap measure, and I hope they're able to get it done, a temporary measure. But in the meantime, we think we need a fulsome solution, at least as it relates to highways and the highway infrastructure. And here's what we propose. We call it the Grow America Act. We believe we should invest $302 billion over 4 years in our highways, our railroads, and our transit systems. That's the first thing it does. The second thing it does is provide certainty that cities, states, and investors need to break ground on major projects. Look, if you're prepared to build a major new enterprise in a city, are you going to build it if you're not certain that you're going to have the transportation net to be able to get into and out of that conveniently? You're not going to do that. So you got to provide certainty. People are waiting to invest. Why aren't they investing? A whole lot of reasons, but one of the reasons may very well be they've got to know that when they invest in a city or a town or a community, they can get their product to market. So it provides certainty. Thirdly, in order to get the product overseas, most of this goes in the back of a ship. But you've got to be able to get there. You got to be able to get there conveniently. So that's why we have to build a world-class freight network that gets the products to market. It's a simple proposition. We have to rebuild America. It used to be a totally bipartisan notion. That's how we regenerate and grow the middle class. It generates real jobs, real long-term investment. There is no excuse for America being anything other than #1 in the world.